Mr. Chairman, thank you, committee. This bill would allow for the open carry of firearms in Tennessee without a permit. I appreciate the support that this committee gave this bill last year. I believe that the current laws here in Tennessee infringe on the Second Amendment of our U.S. Constitution, and I am not bringing this legislation to expand our Second Amendment rights, but to uninfringe them. 1/4 of our legislature has co-signed on this bill. 30 states in our union allow for the open carry of firearms without a permit. I would appreciate your consideration and leave the fate of this bill in your hands.
Motion has been made on the bill and it's been properly seconded. Representative Jones, you're recognized.
Mr. Sponsor, what would be the reason for everybody to carry a gun?
Because they're Americans, and carrying a gun would also help folks to protect their families, protect from evil folks, protect the innocent.
But evil folks will have them too. I mean, if everybody gets one, everybody gets one.
I would say that evil folks will get them whether the law states it or not.
Well, it won't be, it's not quite as easy right now as it will be when everybody starts carrying. So I guess when the Constitution was written and all of those people didn't have running water and outhouses, they were thinking that everybody should carry a gun everywhere they went. Is that what you think?
I would not agree. No, I think, yes, there were folks back in the frontier that needed weapons to protect themselves, but I wouldn't agree that everybody was that way.
That everybody should have one back then?
I'll let you state your opinion on that. I don't agree with it. If folks want to carry weapons back then, that was their choice.
No, what I'm saying is, when the Constitution was written, do you think the writers thought, when they said that we want everybody out on the street carrying a gun, or we want people to be able to protect themselves in their homes if, the English come over or whatever? I mean...
I never met the writers of the Constitution, obviously, but they stated in Article 1, Section 26, that the citizens of this state shall have the right to keep and to bear arms for their common defense. So all I can do is read their words and make decisions based upon what I see now.
Okay. So just keep and bear, but not carry out on the street. I think this is, and we've talked, but I just think this is terrible. This is just a terrible thing to do, to give everybody a gun and strap it on and take out your big sword that we just gave everybody last year, and you'll have your sword strapped to your back and your guns on your hips, and we'll be ready to go. It'll be just like the Old West, and the Old West didn't work, and we're supposed to learn from previous actions. Well, it didn't work, and having everybody with a gun for no particular reason is just, it just makes me want to stay in the house all the time, because I don't want to go somewhere where somebody takes their gun and decides they're going to rob somebody, and then 57 people stand up to shoot the guy who's come in to rob, and a lot of people get dead. I hate the bill.
Chairman Carter, you're recognized.
Mr. Sponsor, does the bill require us to carry guns or allow us to?
It does not require, it allows.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Representative Beck, you're recognized.
Representative Van Huss, referring to something Representative Jones said, in the history of the West, most states had a law where you had to bring your guns to the sheriff when you came into town, and he held them till you left town. There was obviously good rationale back then for this, and there's good rationale today. We live in a major metropolitan area. We have 4 and 2 others rising in the state of Tennessee. Also have a concern with tourism. As you're aware, in my district, I have Opryland, the convention center. I don't know, have you checked on how tourism has been negatively affected in states that have passed such constitutional carry?
I have not checked, but I would argue that folks carrying weapons is necessary to protect other folks. I don't think that there would be a increase in crime just because folks are carrying. You have mentioned the Wild West as well as Representative Jones. Well, again, 30 of the states of our union allow for this open carry of firearms constitutionally. 6 of the 8 states around the state of Tennessee allow for the open carry of firearms, and it's not the Wild West in Colorado in any of these states. So that would be my answer.
Okay, and Georgia passed this last year, correct?
I don't know.
They did.
Georgia was one of the 2 that I knew last year was not one of them.
And since then, Atlanta's lost major conventions. It's a $1 billion industry here in Middle Tennessee. I know it is in East Tennessee and in West Tennessee. We want to grow it to over $1.5 billion. The hospitality has told me that this will will hurt the tourism industry, and I just can't, in any shape, form, or fashion, see where this is necessary. And I wanted to add that last year Metro had a 50-year low in homicides. That's going back to when it was first found in 1962, and we're not carrying guns out there. Walk out on the street, there's nobody with a gun, and we had fewer homicides than we did in 1962. So how is open carry going to make us safer in this city?
I would not agree at all with your assessment that just because we don't allow for the open carry, that's the reason those things are taking place. I don't agree.
The lowest homicide rate since 1962, I mean, it's a statistic. And that in the city was about 200,000 then, and it's over 1 million now. Fewer people killed. I don't think this is necessary.
Any other questions of the sponsor? Representative Jones, you're recognized.
Are signs going to be allowed to be posted? Don't carry in here.
My next bill deals a little bit with that.
I know. That's what I'm talking about.
This legislation does not deal with the posting of signs.
So even if a business posts that you can't carry, you'll still be able to carry with this bill?
All the current laws we have on the books, you have to be 21 to carry a firearm in Tennessee. You cannot be intoxicated and legally carry a weapon. The posting of signage, all the current laws, including up until this point at least, no carrying in city parks, the cities that don't allow it. That this bill does not affect any of that. If this were to pass, from my understanding, all those would remain in place.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I assume the committee's ready to vote. All those in favor of House Bill 684 indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, no. The noes have it. The bill fails.